So something I'm really bad at with running my small business is predicting which products are going to do well and which ones are going to be flops. I'm just going to go ahead and out myself and tell you all about all of my flops. And you might be wondering why I would just decide to post all over the internet about my biggest failures. I will say it is definitely embarrassing. I don't feel good about it, but you know what? It's fine. Mistakes happen. I'm learning to run my business as we go, and it's not going to be perfect 100% of the time. But I found it's very useful to talk about this stuff because there are so many people who have been following my business since the beginning and also just have a lot of ideas about my products and have used my products. And every time I post about a flop, I get a million new ideas about how to prevent that from happening in the future, or creative ways to market those items, or different ways that those items could be used in all the comments. So I found it very helpful. It's basically just like a big free focus group that I get online. So I'm gonna tell you about some of my biggest product flops in the past few years and tell you why I think they probably went wrong. And hopefully that'll help enlighten for other business owners, like some of the things that could go wrong with designing and developing a new product. So the first one I will start with are my pillow covers. When I first posted about these being a flop, a lot of people told me I should sell them with the inserts included, which we actually did do from the beginning. But the inserts sold out pretty quickly. We didn't have that many and they take up a lot of room in the warehouse. It just went on the back burner. It wasn't a top priority product, so that didn't help. But I think the reason that these didn't do well is the fact that they were white was a problem. A lot of people worry about stains on their homewares. And another thing about the designs was that they weren't in my usual patterns. So normally I have my 10 to 12 floral patterns that are all different colors. And these were not in those patterns. They were kind of adjacent. So I think that was definitely an issue. The other issue with this product is normally I sell planners, stickers, notebook stationery, things like that. And this was fully just home decor, and we didn't have anything else at the time in the home decor category, really. This was definitely divergent from that. So I think that it not being like a natural add-on product to our existing categories was an issue, and it didn't appeal necessarily to our existing customer base. It's like if someone is really into buying stationery, it's not guaranteed that person's also going to be into buying home decor. Or that they're going to be into buying home decor in the same patterns. Maybe this just isn't their style in that sort of thing. Which, speaking for myself, I know that's true. Like in clothes, I like wearing very bland, plain, neutral colors. But in like decor and stationery and stuff, I love all the bright colors and fun stuff. So I think everybody kind of is different in that way. So my existing customer base wasn't guaranteed to like this product. Thankfully, like we have been able to sell a good chunk of them over the past 2 years. It's just taken a lot longer than I wanted. And when we have limited space in our warehouse, the amount of time it takes to sell through a product is really important because it's taking up space that could be taken up by something that sells a little bit better. Speaking of that, we have the wrapping paper book, and this one does take up a ton of space. And it's currently in like the entryway of our office because we didn't have space in the warehouse for it anymore. This was definitely a flop. And I guess I should explain this too. If you haven't seen this product before from my business, it is a book of 12 sheets of wrapping paper and it's folded up, so it expands to be 4 times the size of this book. So it's a good size sheet of wrapping paper, and I feel like it's extremely convenient to store versus storing a bunch of wrapping paper rolls. So you get 24 different options as far as what prints you want to go with, but you don't have to store 24 rolls. So I thought that would be like a really fun thing for this book. I would say there's multiple issues with this item, but the number one issue is that I had to order a minimum of like 3,000 of them. So if I wanted to do the product at all, I had to get 3,000, and that was just too much at the time for my business, and even now that would be too many. But I would say the problem that goes hand in hand with that is this wasn't geared towards birthdays or holidays, and I think that's the time when people buy the most wrapping paper and use most wrapping paper. And so I was thinking about it and I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not necessarily gonna reach for like a floral pattern around Christmas. And like I don't necessarily have that many gifts that I'm giving outside of birthdays and holidays. So I think that's an issue. I think some people didn't really know what it was. Like it sells okay in Mill and Meadow in our store in person, but I still think a lot of people don't open it up to look and see what it is. And even if you open it up, you're not seeing all the patterns. So that is definitely an issue with this book. And as much as I wanted it to work, it just really didn't. However, and this is a little bit crazy of me, which I recognize, but I kind of want to try it again. Maybe not this year, but next year in a Christmas theme. And I feel like that could be really good. So the next flop was this budget planner, which I was pretty excited about. And if you like flip through it, you can see it's laid out in a very intuitive way, in my opinion. Like it starts out with a yearly overview and then a monthly overview, and then it has like spending trackers, and then every couple of spending trackers, there's another monthly overview. And in the back is a little pocket so you can put receipts in there and stuff, and a sticker sheet that you can put throughout with gold foil. So I thought that was really cute and fun, and I liked that a lot. This was really popular when we released it. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be a great seller. It's gonna continue to be popular, but it just dropped off. It just kind of stopped selling. I would say maybe one of the biggest issues with this, it's that we could only get it in one design. So I had 3,000 in black floral, but every other one of my products, for the most part, comes in multiple designs. So I just think that was something I really suffered from. If black floral isn't your thing, you couldn't get it in, you know, Rainbow Garden or Primrose Petals or Summer Meadows. So that was kind of a bummer that it just kind of died off, but at least it's like pretty small, so it doesn't take up that much space in our warehouse. And I know we will sell through them eventually, but I do regret getting that quantity. And I probably, had I known this would have been the outcome, I just wouldn't have done this product. So another flop that actually pretty much suffered from all of the same things as the budget planner was the wedding planner and guest book. But this was a little bit unique. So I really like the wedding planner. It's like very free form and it's gender neutral, and it also has stickers in the back and very good quality and all of that. But the problem was it only came in this one design, and it's very specific to getting married. Not every one of my customers is like, you know, planning a wedding or knows someone who's planning a wedding. And I had to order 1,000 of each of these. So that was a big stumbling block, was the quantity combined with only being able to do one pattern. And I ordered the budget planner and the wedding planner around the same time. So we designed those pretty much in tandem, like at the same time. I didn't have the knowledge about either one of these that would have prevented me from developing the other later down the line. But now I know if there's a really high minimum quantity and I can only do one design, it's probably gonna be a deal breaker for me. I think I have the opportunity to sell these to a closeout company, and so they take big discounts on products and then they sell them at like closeout stores. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, just because I don't wanna hang on to them just in the hope that they'll sell eventually, and instead just kind of cut our losses and just try something else that would be a better seller that could take up the same amount of space in our warehouse. So those are some of the biggest flops that I've had with my business. And honestly, like I said at the beginning, it is kind of hard for me to talk about because like I have to admit like, oh, I really messed up. These were like mistakes that now feel obvious to me. But I know that at the time that I was developing these products, I didn't know how important it was to keep our minimums low, especially when testing a new product area, and keep in mind like the customer and the usage and how easy it is to tell what the product is just from the outside. So now that I've learned all of those things, I hope that is useful to pass along to other small business owners that hopefully having that knowledge makes it a little bit easier to feel equipped to make a big risk on a new product, knowing that at least you're not going to have these specific problems, which makes it, more likely that you'll have a success rather than a flop. So I hope that is the case. I hope you found this video useful. Please do like, subscribe, comment, all of those things. I want to hear if you have any ideas about these products, future products I should develop, or if you have your own product idea that you want to tell me about, I'd love to hear and brainstorm with you about it. So let me know. I love chatting with you guys in the comments. And again, I hope you found this useful.